Hello everybody, this is Marcus Toole and I am in my home orchard. Actually, I'm on a property that's next door that's owned by my cousins, and I am in front of one of two Auburn University cherry plum trees that are in the orchard. And the Auburn University cherry is one that was developed by Auburn University. It is a hybrid between a cherry plum hybrid, a common plum by the name of Meffley. But believe it or not, Meffley is a cherry plum hybrid itself. Auburn University bred the cherry plum hybrid with a Chickasaw plum, and then bred two offsprings from that breeding together and ended up with the Auburn University cherry. I have two trees. This is one that is on a Mariana rootstock. I have another one that is on a Toole's heirloom rootstock with a Robusto interstem. And what I can say about the two trees is that while the plums are very similar, the plums on the Toole's heirloom rootstock are about twice the size as the ones that are on the Mariana rootstock, and almost twice, well, maybe not, maybe a third larger than the ones on the Mariana rootstock. And it's just an odd thing that I noticed. One of the things I have found is that all the trees that I have two, one's on a Chickasaw cultivar rootstock versus one that's on something else. I have found that the plums that the tree that's on the Chickasaw plum rootstock produces bigger plums. That's true with Robusto. Robusto on a peach rootstock has smaller plums than the one that's on the NC McKibben rootstock. So that just seems to be a trend that I'm noticing. What do I think about Auburn University cherry? Well, so far both trees are very healthy. Productivity, kind of so-so. The plums are small, even on the plum tree with the bigger plums, they're still kind of small. And so while they're on that tree, while there's a lot of plums, it's still, I think if you pick them all, it really wouldn't amount to much because of the size of the plums. And so it's a plum for home gardening. Taste kind of reminds me of a cherry. It's kind of the size range of a cherry. And, you know, this is more the size range of a small plum. This is the size range more of a cherry. Very sweet. I like them a lot. Flavor-wise, I like them better this year. They have red flesh. I like them a lot better this year than I did last year. This tree here so far hasn't been as productive as the other tree. And I think the issue is that it is much further away from an effective pollinizer. Auburn University cherry is supposed to be self-fertile, just as Meffley is supposed to be self-fertile, and Santa Rosa is supposed to be self-fertile. Well, I don't think any plum tree's super self-fertile. It makes some plums if it's by itself, but that's what can be said for it. So, you know, there is another cherry plum nearby, but and it's an unknown strain that was used as a rootstock on another tree that, on a European plum that didn't make it. And I don't know what that rootstock is. It's different from the Mariana. And it doesn't seem to be cross-fertile with this, or at least not very cross-fertile with this. And what I can say is as I said, Auburn University cherry, this one here is way further away from other trees to pollinize it. The other tree is much more productive, even though it's in poorer conditions. It just doesn't get as much sun. Makes bigger fruit though, so I don't understand why it makes bigger fruit when it gets less sun, but it does. And other than it's just a difference in rootstock. So Overall, I think it's good. I think it's delicious. It's just not a very big plum, and whether or not it's a good pollinizer for other plums is yet to be seen. It blooms too late to be a reliable pollinizer for Mariana. It does bloom with, or at least should bloom with, some of the later blooming plums that are immature for me and may be a good pollinizer for them. I don't know. It could be that it just does have some Chickasaw plum in its genetics, so it could be that it really doesn't have very strong pollen. That's a very real possibility. So that's what I know about the Auburn University cherry. Very disease resistant. Looks like it's going to be a big tree. Looks like it's going to make small fruit. It makes delicious fruit. The firm, they don't ever really get soft. It's a softer plum than the Sprite. It's a sweeter plum than the Sprite, not as tart at all. I don't know which I like better. Maybe the Auburn University cherry is a little bit more cherry-like, whereas Sprite is a little bit more plummy, maybe. It's definitely tart, more tart. So anyhow, that's the Auburn University cherry. Thank you and God bless.